I am not a mental health professional, but I did minor in psychology. I did my final paper in abnormal psych class on narcissistic personality disorder. And I believe it is in the best interest of your students and your school to forward this to a mental health professional and then have Larry evaluated. And if you think I'm crazy for having gone through all this, well, you can let the mental health professional decide about that too. Here is what the DSM-4 said about narcissistic personality disorder. The symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder revolve around a pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, and sense of entitlement. Check, check, check. Often individuals feel overly important and will exaggerate achievements and will accept and often demand praise and admiration despite worthy achievements. There is a sense of entitlement of being more deserving than others based solely on their superiority. These symptoms, however, are a result of an underlying sense of inferiority and are often seen as overcompensation. Because of this, they are often envious and even angry of others who have more, receive more respect or attention, or otherwise steal away the spotlight. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. I am willing to concede two things to Larry. First, I want to give him credit that he had the foresight to know that he could not direct the show, as he states in the program. Where is it? Somebody for talking him into doing the show. He thanked somebody for talking him into doing the show when he said that they couldn't. Secondly, I'm not exactly giving him credit, but giving him a little bit of a break here. I have no doubt that I caught him at his worst. He's never done an opera or a musical review, I'm willing to bet. That's why he knew he couldn't do this show. He actually could have. He just had to take a vacation. He had to hire a musical director and a choreographer. He could pop in here and there and make comments. You can make sure that we understand what his vision, basic vision of the show is. But the rehearsing of the music and the rehearsing of the choreography, the directors aren't at even half or a quarter or a tenth. They pop in towards the end and make sure everything's going okay. So I'll bet he's never been so desperate before. Another thing is that it is not common around here, in this town, as we've discussed, to have professionals accompanying musical theater productions in this town. Pretty much never happens because it just doesn't pay enough. Can't earn a living doing shows in this town. Larry landed a professional this time because he made a dishonest offer. It makes sense that if he so desperately needs the spotlight, he would have felt especially threatened by this situation. Tom O'Connor asked me why I thought Larry was doing this. Well, we can't read his mind, but we can read his director's notes, best we can do, to find out what is going on in his mind. Since it is a pattern that he hires people and then won't let them do their job, expecting them to just magically have the job be done without actually doing it, it's because he doesn't understand that they have the right to work, to do the job they've been hired for. Rent is a rock opera, and Larry has no non-musical scenes to direct. He is so narcissistic that he not only believes my work is less important than his, he believes my work is less important than him doing nothing, or 2% of the time pretending to do something. He doesn't care if the students learn the music or lose their voices. He doesn't recognize that people have rights. I have the right to work. Your students have the right to learn. He doesn't recognize that they exist for any reasons other than for him to exploit and take advantage of. In his director's notes, Larry never once mentions the students, who did a great job, I thought, under the circumstances, considering they had no musical direction, or if you want to say maybe really terrible musical direction. No complaints about Peter White. He did it under the circumstances best he could too, just like I did. No mention of the students at all. He does, however, describe the show as his creation, as though he wrote it. He does describe himself as, quote, the greatest possibility of being a human being, unquote. And he compares himself to Martin Luther King. In what way is he comparable to Martin Luther King? Larry liberated the Negro. If you're a fan of irony, and most of us are, it doesn't get any better than this.